All right, guys. Remember this, okay, guys? If you want to be famous or you want to do really well, remember that obviously it has to be realistic. It has to be something you can do. But remember that you're in heavy competition with other people. But you shouldn't feel the competition, right? I mean, there's lots of people in Hollywood, and I think nowadays a lot of people feel like they're entitled to fame or they're entitled to being a famous person because there's so many people in Hollywood, and they just automatically feel like they're better than some people because like some people aren't like drop dead gorgeous in Hollywood, and some people aren't, and everybody's beautiful, right? But some people aren't that amazing as performers, but they got in, right? I think that a lot of people feel they're entitled to be famous because of that, because they feel like, well, that person got in, I can get in, right? Um, and that could be true, right? I mean, like if you look at someone on social media and think, oh, they're not that good and they're famous, right? And that could be true. Maybe you can because they're like that, and you shouldn't feel like you can't be famous, right? Because everybody should feel like they can be famous. But you have to remember, fame is rare, right, guys? So if you're trying to be famous, you have to remember fame is rare. Doesn't mean you can't be famous, doesn't mean you can't dream of being famous, but you have to make sure you cover your bills and do all the things you need to do, right? And you can't be, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being delusional, right? I'm all for being delusional, I'm all for being someone that is focused on being into being famous and feeling like you are already famous, whatever. There's nothing wrong with that, right? And even if you're not good, you should be delusional in a sense in other things, right? Like how you perform at your job or how you do whatever, right? But, and there's nothing wrong with being delusional. I don't think there's a problem with that. But realistically, remember, and then not realistically, but remember, like, do a reality check once in a while, right? And even if your channel is not doing as well right now, maybe it will later, right? But, I mean, if you've been performing for like 20 years and you have 100 followers, I mean, I still think being delusional about it and focusing on maybe you can be famous, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But you have to be kind of aware that maybe it's not for you, right? But nobody has to be aware of that, right? Keep your videos up always and focus on if you want to make more videos, whatever. And I don't want to be someone, being aware, having a react. Yeah, well, I'm not trying to say that. Like, don't delete your videos, right? But, and add more or whatever, right? But have a backup plan. Like, if you pay your bills and you do things for yourself, you're not going to have to worry about about your channel because you can do anything you want on it because you're paying your bills, right? Anyway, thanks guys, bye now. Bye everyone, Donna.